There's a reason why extending the body is so important in your backstroke technique. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly why that is and steps to correct if you feel too much flexion. Hey swimmers, welcome back to the Swim Vice channel. I'm Coach Mandy, and today's quick tip video is highlighting a common habit I see many swimmers struggle with in backstroke, and that is having way too much flexion in their body line. In this video, I will highlight why that happens and also steps to correct it so that way you can improve your overall extension and lengthening in your backstroke technique. Now, before I get started, if you are new to the channel or you've been watching my content, be sure to hit the subscribe button below. That way you stay notified for new and exciting content weekly and you show your support for the channel. All right, let's get into detail of how to correct this moving forward. A pattern that can easily start happening in your backstroke technique that you may not be aware of is slowly collapsing your body line. Here you can see I'm demonstrating what occurs when flexion and also collapsing from the center of your body occurs and what it does to your body line moving forward, and also correcting it. So here, slowed down, what you will see is there is zero stability from the center of my body. And the reason why that happens is due to some slight collapsing. The action that occurs in this freeze frame is I am aiming uphill. So my left arm is landing higher than my hips. What happens is your body will start to slowly start collapsing. Your legs can start sinking. And over time, you can start adding more flexion in your hips and your neck. All of these work and create a compound effect of completely collapsing the body line. And what happens is you end up swimming outside of your draft zone. Not only does this make it more tiring, you'll slow down, but you won't really have an idea that you're doing it until you correct it. But even just looking at my body line here is I am way outside my draft zone. So because of that, I'm also increasing a lot more resistance. Now, you can sense that your body line is sinking, and then usually the normal knee-jerk reaction is to kick harder and try to move faster, but that also adds more resistance. That also wastes more energy. So the key is to extend your body line, to reposition yourself, to not swim uphill, and take away the collapsing. Again, because of that, you see in this freeze frame that I now have a little bit of flexion in my neck, and it does not take much. I'm not completely looking forward, but there is some tilting from my head position. And even with that, creates this feeling of continuously collapsing the body line. You can also see from this angle as well, my left arm, or my right arm, I should say my right hand, is aiming too high. And so I'm just essentially swimming uphill with backstroke. And sometimes it's hard to even sense this is occurring in your own technique. The only way you can really assess what's going on is by correcting it and feeling the difference. So after demonstrating this pattern, you'll start to see that I readjust, sitting up higher on the surface. When correcting this movement pattern and I reposition my body line, is that I'm prioritizing extending and lengthening my body with no collapsing from the center. So you can even see in this freeze frame alone that I've already tilted my body and repositioned to sit up higher on the surface. And there's multiple factors that are occurring to make this happen. It's not just one thing, but the theme and the movement all align with extending. And also trying to swim and keep my weight shift in front of my head and a little deeper. So not trying to collapse and add flexion to my body line, rather extending through. And you can see just by repositioning, my body line is now within the draft zone. It is not outside of it. Therefore, I'm swimming through a smaller space. And because I'm swimming through a smaller space, I have decreased my resistance, which makes swimming much easier and also, as a consequence, faster. So if you're watching this video and you want to swim faster backstroke, typically the priority should be to aim for skill first. Speed will always follow after. It makes no sense to not swim through a small space as you see in this freeze frame right here. If my legs were dropping outside of this zone and I tried to swim faster, it's not going to actually help me move forward more. If anything, I will burn out quicker and I will slow down. But once you reposition yourself, as you see here, swimming through that small space, you decrease the resistance, you decrease the workload, and then you can start adding power. And that's where you can really start moving forward. So watching again in full speed, you can see just the amount of collapsing and losing my center and stability. There's really no strength from my core at this point. It's just kind of dragging. And most of where my strength is happening or stabilizing is from my shoulders and my arms. And you can already see the results of that. If I prioritize stabilizing from my arms and my shoulders, then my body line will drop. My core is gone. So it's deactivated. I'm not actually really swimming from my core. It's more of just being in the wrong position, increasing the resistance, and just losing my center every time I try to swim forward. Now, one of the reasons why this is so common in backstroke is because the actual act of looking forward and collapsing the body line is a fight or flight response. No matter how skilled you are in the water, there is always that subconscious action for survival swimming. But here, you're working on counteracting that, focusing on getting your body line up high, which is not natural at the beginning. And you can see here that in order for that to happen, my arm is extended and relaxed. I'm not trying to stabilize off the arm. If my hand was higher than my shoulder line, my body line would sink immediately, as you have already seen. So the priority is to extend, to relax, to learn how to swim through the small space, and to not have tension in your extremities. Here, I'm having tension in my hands. And if I have tension in my hands, I'm going to lose the tension from my core. There's no other option. But if I reposition myself and relax my hands, then all of a sudden, the body line starts to tip up and it's much easier to swim backstroke. Okay, swimmers, go ahead and try a couple of these points the next time you go to the pool and let me know how it goes in the comments below. Now, if you're serious about overall improving your backstroke technique or you're learning from the foundation up, hit the pinned comments below and join my SwimVice program. You will have access to my backstroke course, freestyle, speed, turns, treading water, and so much more. Also, you can go to swimvice.com for more resources to help with your swim training. All right, swimmers, enjoy your practice, and I will see you all next week.